scientific ethics to time and culture. What I would like to propose important ideas which I feel that is necessary for us to bear in mind when we have the technology and scientific revolution. First, the concept that all is one. I think this concept is not only for the pre-Socratic time only. It's also true within the whole ideas of Eastern and Western philosophy. That is, the universe. We can look at the universe as a infinite, and this infinite is eternal. If you look at the word like this, it means that we understand that everything is in the whole or oneness. Yeah. Oneness of everything equivalent to infinity and one. Yeah. So, another idea is that I think we have to bear in mind within the development on scientific and culture, that is, love all things equally. The universe is one. Zhuangzi, Puisi, and all those thinkers in the past say the same thing. Even the concept of Brahman in the Upanishad also have the same concept. Now, with this understanding that oneness or the wholeness of everything back in the mind, whenever we do anything, it's certainly that it will affect on the whole, no matter what. So, Socrates, many people mention about Socrates that what does he do to, what is being human? Human is a capacity to know himself, who he is, what he wants to do in life. I think many of you mentioned this morning, you have to go back to this basic problem. What is a good life and all this? So, coming back to modern time, which is Francis Bacon. Bacon is an empiricist who tried to apply how we can bring science, and science itself is power. If we are able to control all, we can control everything. So that's a basic for modern, for 300 years now that we have under this kind of thinking. And we believe that whatever we do our observation and if it proves to be true, then we can accept as true. Another thinker that I would like all of us to bear in mind is Kant, which many times we come to some kind of difficulties that we mentioned this morning. Should we do this and we should do that? And how would it affect upon us and the rest of the world? That is, not to treat others as a means, but always as an end. Doing good in itself is good in itself, not for the result of it. Even though Kant think about motive is the most important thing. But the motive and the result itself is good in itself. So, with this in mind, and then, what are we? Now, if some of you have seen a movie, Home, any of you have seen the movie Home?
Yeah. Is it a documentary movie?
Yes, documentary movie.
Okay, I have seen a part of it.
Yeah, it's a long one.
It's a very long one.
Long one.
Very beautiful.
Very beautiful. Because the guy who took that movie took 3 years for him to take all the shots. And even he can take the shots of one of the African men very smilingly at the picture, you can't find that easily. So this film shows us what did we do to our world, how did we do the damage to the world, and it's also, it means what did we do to ourselves, our life and our society. We are all affected by this action of us. So I will talk about 4 parts altogether, which is scientific discovery to present. Plato's Phaedrus. This is a very important message that he sent to us. And the book that has been produced about the beginning of the 21st century or the end of the 19th century, 20th century, which is an agenda for the 21st century. And then we probably come out with some kind of a conclusion, which I believe that all of us here can help to solve the world together. Now, I don't want to repeat what Professor Dario talked about since Galileo until present now, and we understand also that from 16th to 19th, the 21st century, these are the foremost century that we damage the whole world the most because of the scientific discovery. Now, starting from the age of discovery to the golden age of science and to present time, the digital age, it's a wonder of science that the scientists discover something. But under the hand of commercialism, politicians, and capitalism that we are living in right now. I hope some of you are not falling to sleep. If you are just about to fall asleep, raise your hand. I know this is difficult. After lunch, very difficult. Yeah. Now, there's a quote of progress saying that the bigger, the better, faster. Now everything we do is the bigger company, many worldwide company, Starbucks, McDonald's, everything. The bigger, the better. And make it faster, the better. We will use the computer, make it faster, how to connect faster and all this. We are in the world of competition always. Now, and the point is that according to the most of the in business, they would say that man turns the mirror into a window. When you have a mirror, you look upon yourself. But when you have a window, you look outside. And most time at present, we always look outside. Look at our mobile phone, look at computer, doing things outside of us. Never look within ourselves. So, but for the business people, looking out means opportunity, benefit, and threats from the outside. In that is a fact that we forgot to look at our own threat within, which is anger, fear, and greed, and which is the most difficult disease that we have, or in this present time. Now, I would like to tell you to Plato's phrase. According to this book, the king of Egypt, Thomas, and Thoth, the god of inventor. He invented numbers, calculation, geometry, astronomy, and writing. He invented everything. So when he invited Thomas, look at Thomas, I invite something, which is writing. Yeah? So Thomas said, those who acquire will cease to exercise the memory and become forgetful. They will rely on writing to bring things to their remembrance by external sign instead of by their own internal resources, not for memory. And for those wisdom, your pupil will have the reputation of it without the reality. They will receive a quantity of information without proper instruction, and in consequences, he thought of very knowledgeable because they are filled with the concept of wisdom instead of real wisdom. They will be a burden to the society. This is what Thomas taught back to Thoth. And whatever he said then turned out to be so real at the present time. Yeah. Now, Henry David Thoreau also said the same. Our inventions are but improved means to an unimproved end. The scientists invented so many things, but what the commercial do to those inventions? They sell it, and people being the object of that part. So what is the nature of all this invention? The scientists, you know, when we look at the scientists, why do you invent it? Why Galileo invented what he did? Did he know the result of what he would become? You know? Is it for the sake of knowledge? And if we are aware of the result, like Dario talked this morning, the nuclear bomb, the sadness that happened that we will talk about later on, or even nanotechnology. When we talk about nanotechnology, you can use the code over and over again, you don't have to watch it, no smell, no nothing. But what will the result? It come into your body. You know, we hardly know what is the final end of all this. So, Thoreau, these people, or even Huxley, you know, Huxley is a guy who wrote on the Brave New World. I think he has a very far-sighted and a satire upon man's invention towards technology.
So this is like an technological imperative. You just keep doing it.
Yeah, exactly. You keep doing it because even when you're a scientist, you just crave on to know what's the result of this.
Yeah.
You go on and on and on, but you don't know what will become of it.
Yeah, that's called technological imperative.
Exactly. Yeah. And you as a lawyer, probably you know the best. This is what happened to man in the present and time and in the future. Now, if you look at the book, An Agenda for the 21st Century, this book was written by Rushworth and Kittler. It's a small book, but it has an impact that they interviewed. The guy went around and interviewed so many people in different walk of life. A philosopher, a lecturer, and scientist, and politician, artist, all this. So they came up with the 6 kind of topics that this is what we will face in the 21st century. For the first one, nuclear war. Yeah? He said that many people were so afraid that we are sitting right here and we don't know in the next 5 minutes everything will be gone. It all depends on who pushes what. You know? If you're so scared, you're afraid people will fight with you first and then you push a button. And so, and this may be true in so many Hollywood movies. You just might push a button and say, oh no, don't do that. But it can easily happen. You know? It's unlike the war that we have in the Mahabharata or in the ancient time where you talk about the tools we use that Gary talked this morning. You know, any tools you use is for against other people when you are in war. Even the cannonball, you throw the ball to the other side, they throw you back and all this. These are tools that we use. But there's nothing scary as a nuclear war. That, you don't know, all gone. And if you stay, that we went to Nagasaki and some of you went to the Holocaust area, you see that sadness is still there. The tears of people, and then you can cry within yourself how sad it can be. And this is what we managed. I didn't think that Einstein would approve what people use of his invention. Yeah. Had he known that this came out from his invention, how sad he can be. Yeah. And but we hardly know how to manage with our own anger, our fear from the other side. And this is, we invented something outside of us rather than within ourselves. I hate to go back into the meditative stage of man, but how can we overcome that fear? And the uncertainty of all that happening here, the more we use the weapons, the more dangerous it can be. Yeah? Overpopulation and the problem of environment. I think you're all aware of this. Even though we have longer lifespan, we have better, because we have a better health care, but not to all. Because the rich always get everything, whereas the poor cannot. In some countries, they can sell different parts, like in China, you know, you go to some hospital and you come out with some part of your body is gone. There's no guarantee that they can do anything about it. So, for this country, we still have a problem of healthcare. How do we spread the knowledge of healthcare to all? Yeah. And this related to the environment. In some countries, you can say that a river full of junk they throw into the river. In some of our country, we have the same problem. So, we have the man is a creature that very that's above all other creatures. Many times we feel so sorry that you kill birds, chicken, pigs, whatever, because they have disease. But we don't know how to take care of themselves by them themselves. The other day I went to a monk and he said, well, you know, man, we are so ignorant. If you have a chicken, you could grow a certain kind of plants together. Because when the chicken is sick, they can go and pick up the plant and cure themselves. Even cat can have to eat grass so when they are sick. So but the chicken have no right to walk around the street or walk around the field. They have to be in one place. And you know, when you talk about GMO and all these things at the lunchtime, this is a problem that we create. Yes, in Europe they have to have the sign said non-GMO. They don't allow in Europe, no matter what. But so this is what's happening. So we are the creature who value ourselves the most against other creatures. We damage the whole world, but not to ourselves. As long as we're still alive, we are okay. So solving the environment problem is everyone's duty, not by anyone else. Is we have to all do it together, not by ourselves. And go back to the same concept that no matter what, we are part of the whole. No matter what you kill another, you're going to come back to yourself one way or the other. Now, when we talk about the developed and underdeveloped country, there will be a big gap between the two different nations. I think that we are living the same boat. Either you are on top or on the bottom, you always affect whatever we are in. And if we cannot divide the richness to everyone else or give away to some, you cannot survive. We cannot separate from one another because we're in the same boat. So, sharing technology to all is necessary for the world to be together. It means that right now, for those who have and those who have not, there's a big gap. So education and healthcare are necessary for all. Now, education. We've been talking about education. We talked about Ajahn Sorat this morning. Also, we have problem of education in this country. How to solve this is a big problem. But they say there's not only problem in this country, but all over the world. If you go and look to Finland, who have a very good education, they also have the same kind of problem. So it means that the degrading of education system all over the world. Some may be more or less. So this is digital age. We mentioned about the digital age. How can that create to the people or the students here? Students tend to be short memories because when you play with the computer, it sounds so fast. So you can't look at it for a long time. You know? And so you have short attention. Watch television that I mentioned this morning, students who watch will become so blurred. So they can't focus on anything because they have to move all the way. So go back again. Those who acquire knowledge, they forget to memorize. And what is necessary to remember it? In Thailand, people can remember the two times one, 2 times 2. You know, they kind of memory all over, always, but no longer now. Even the short words, they have to remember the short words rather than able to put punctuation into different places. And in Thai language, we have 5 sounds, you know, ka 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 ka, ko, or something like this. So the Thai people can pronounce any kind of sound because of this. But now they don't teach like that anymore. They just people look at the words and remember it one by one. They can't see the difference between sounds. They can't see the difference between words because of the way they teach. And so this is the real problem of the time. It's not only the problem; it's a small problem. But other bigger problem than that, we have a system of tutoring before enter even kindergarten, enter even to university. This is crazy. The whole thing is so crazy. So this is what I'm trying to tell you, that the education system here is a thing that we have to improve, but we don't know where. Because for those who have the knowledge have no power to do so, and those who power have no knowledge to do so. So this is the real problem. So what will become of man with such an environment? When you learn, it means you have to understand. But right now you only know and you only see, but you have no knowledge, no learning, no understanding. So how can we survive in this world? And as I mentioned, we used to be in the ASEAN, first or two number in ASEAN, organizing the ASEAN together. But now we are number 8. I hate to pronounce it, but it's number 8 out of the whole ASEAN country. Very ignorant in English, in the layman outside here. Some other people come in and they can understand it much better. Morality, what will become of that? When I started teaching in Bangkok about 40 years ago, I'm sorry to say that, 41 years ago, my students are still very innocent. Their family go on together. No, among 10 students, there are no divorce in the family. But right now, half and half. You don't have a very, very strong family. How could you survive? So what will become of man's morality? Right now, we're taking things for granted. We come up by the elevator, we can connect with other people around the world, just like that. How could we understand things and appreciate things the way they are? And so we think that everything we know as a tip of our finger, we can Google, and then you go, everything. But what is the process of knowing itself? What is the process of understanding or acting really? So it is. So are we the slave of slavery of the technology or not? So the world has never before confronted with information glut and has hardly had time to reflect on its consequence. In other words, we have so many information. When you have lines, you have so many people lying to you, right? You have to look at it one by one all together. It's so many. We have so many things that we can go to World Wide Web and look what you want to know anything. You can get everything information. But what do you do with those information? And also, people cannot distinguish between what is real, what is not. In Korea, there were sometimes going to court. The father sued the mother because she did facial transform so beautifully, but the kids have something different, just like the mother before that. They're suing her for that. We can't tell what is real anymore. Even virtual reality, what we see in the computer, whatever we face, we cannot tell the difference between what is real and what is not. Now, for how can we survive in this century with this the development? First is to know what is real, natural quest for knowledge. How can we find out reality in order we have? Second is to understand and sympathize to others. How can we sympathy to others? I think that is the question that we have to have ourselves, our friend, our nation, our fellow other being. The real is not the citizen of America. but he's concerned about the Indians in America, American Indians. It means that he has a heart for the humanities, you know. Those American Indians die at age of 40 something, whereas the rest of America until 80 or 90. So different. And nobody pay attention to those people. Yeah? So this is the first jurisdiction that you ever set up for the Indians. Now, giving is more important than taking. I heard that right now so many riches, so many people think better that the more they give, the better they become. Once I watched television without paying attention to that, but it's turned out to be an American guy, went to up north of Thailand, helping the villagers set up a school, you know, paying a little for donating some baht and then knocking on the wood, how to on the nails, each nail, he helped them to do it. And people go and interview him, what happened, what do you do? He said, oh, I'm very happy because I'm helping these people. And it turned out to be that if people know that giving others, helping with your head and hands, it gives you much blessing, much happiness than just sitting still and do nothing. See? So this is a secret of life that one has to understand. Otherwise, this kind of life is so dry and you can't really survive with happiness because of this not knowing the secret of life. So sharing is more important than owning. Knowing the action that affect the environment. So everything, single step has its own benefit. You got to be careful every single step that you do to your environment, a paper you throw in the street, or whatever you do. Like this New Year just passed, I talked to some people who went to dinner at the Oriental, Bangkok, and you know what happened? They said that they make a lot of fireworks. Oh, 15 minutes fireworks. It costs a lot of money. But worse than that is that the polluted air around there, and some of the fireworks went down to the peninsula across the Oriental.
The ashes.
Yeah? Yes.
Ashes
Not
of
really.
the fireworks.
No. It's burst to the there's some problem. It didn't burn away, right? And it burnt some floor. So, and every New Year, this kind of occasion, all around the world, we create a lot of pollution, you know, air pollution all over. So, how do we know that every action that we take, it always affects upon the environment and those around us? So I hope this is something that is very necessary for us to be considered. I don't know if any of you have read Carlos Castaneda's book, The Journey to Excellence, Don Juan. No. Well, I think it's a novel, but it's very interesting. Have you read it?
I read Small is Beautiful. It's about
yeah.
Small
Well,
is Beautiful.
that is something else. But that Carlos Castaneda, he said he made a research and living with the Indians, American Indians, and he learned that the Indians listen to nature. Something like the Chinese, the Tao and all this, understanding nature, you know. So that somehow leads man to live with nature. How can we go back and live with nature? Of course, we can't go back now at the grade that we are in, but we have to something for us to think about. You know, what do we do that affect the environment? And also, the last point, how to treat other beings equally with love and sympathy. I think that's the starting point for the 21st century.
Yes.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any question, please?
Just a comment.
Yeah.
I mean, this is very good as a backdrop for us to understand why we are doing certain thing and what we are doing certain thing and what we try to achieve. You know, it's the oneness. I think it's very important. It's that aspect, you know, that give meaning to what we are doing after all.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. question, please.
AUSN grades are determined by the number of questions that you ask. Any questions, anybody?
When you have no question, it means two things. Understand it truly or not at all.
So, your topic, was talking about many things, but your focus is also on the future. How would you say, do you think science and technology developed in Thailand very much in the 20th century compared to the 19th century? And
well,
what
Thailand,
about...
I just talked to, what is his name? Len.
Len?
He said he stayed in Thailand for more than 30 years. That is a crucial point in Thailand. Within the 30 years, we changed from the Bangkok means the city of angel, and now from the city of angel to the city of hell. And so yeah.
I remember traffic on Sukhumvit when it was two-way.
Yeah.
It was much worse when I first got here in 1975 than it is now. But I also remember Thai men and women would never touch each other.
Yeah.
That was never. I was on the SkyTrain last year, and I think a boy playfully slapped his girlfriend, and his girlfriend kicked him in the butt on a SkyTrain. So the basic ties have not changed, I don't think, but the behavior, the attitudes, the dress, a lot of the cultures become more westernized.
Yeah. So what do you mean the basic tie then?
Well, to be polite, not to lose your temper, to be respectful of elders, that's a good question. The basic internal, how Thais have come together as a society through the centuries to form a social customs so they can live together. So by being polite and not showing anger is one very good way that Thais can get along, even though they may not like a person. They're kind of like the British. They may hate you, but they're going to be polite to you. They're not going to show how much they dislike you. So the social cohesion has not changed, but the outward symbols, just as Bangkok and Thailand has changed very rapidly. But the Thais are still Thais.
Well, the Thai has a good nature. That one thing.
Yeah, they have a good nature.
Yeah, that's
overall.
Yeah, overall, except that the youngsters probably they change it.
Yes, the youngsters have changed.
I think it's everywhere, and it means also we are getting old because to see the younger generation, they're different from us. Yeah. And what is your question again, Dario?
No, it's so you think a greatest amount of technology advancement in Thailand was in the last 30 or 40 years, or was there a lot in the 19th century as well?
Oh, I think it's the last 10 years is the most change due to, I would say, capitalism. Capitalism which come into this country, and the politicians, the commercialism and all this is getting so far ahead from the education that the people should get. If you want to change, well, John Dewey said, in the democratic society, the society changes so fast. You got to give education equally the same pace as the society is changing. Otherwise, you will fall back behind. And this is a problem in our country. Last 2 weeks, I went to up north, which is northeast, Khon Kaen. Anyone you probably heard. I came to this city about 10 years ago. And 10 years passed by so fast. When I came back, when I began again, I was so amazed to see the traffic jam. The airport is about 100% crowded than before. And the people just live up in the air, don't know what they're doing, but the progress, outlook, 4-lane street, shopping centers, all came. How can you survive without the knowledge why things are the way they are? Then you are the victim of all the changes. No wonder why we never move ahead, because we have no understanding of our own society, of our own change. And who made the change? The commercial people, the government who think that they can have a lot of money and they think that, yeah,
Science made the change.
science made the change, but people use the science in the wrong way, as I said. Yeah.
Well, Thailand is going through a very dramatic social change because Thais have always organized themselves, like many Asian countries, in a hierarchical status. Now, people are questioning that. Actually, it was Thaksin Shinawatra that said, hey, all you poor people, you have a vote. And if you want to vote, you can vote somebody into power, which is,
Yeah, because you know that he has the knowledge of the weakness of the poor.
that's true.
So that's the idea of throwing the money to the poor.
So
Right.
he's radically changed the political situation here that still has not been settled. The Bangkok elites have always dominated politics. Now, a major part of the population wants to get to the table. They're saying, well, why can't we control the government? Because we have the votes. So that's going to take generations, in my opinion,
yeah.
to work itself all out. Eventually it will, but it's not going to be easy and it's not going to be,
But the point
it's
is,
going to be messy.
yeah, the point is that if the poor have the knowledge how to rule, have the knowledge what is good for themselves.
Yes,
So education is the most important thing. Whether or not the Thaksin is here or not,
It doesn't
it's not
matter.
that bad. It's
Doesn't
the
matter.
poor who have to have the knowledge. And another idea is that the easier to control is not to give knowledge to the poor.
that's very true.
Easier to control.
Yeah, but
So this is a job for everyone have to be aware of.
now they can't do that anymore.
Exactly.
Because of the rise of
Yeah.
education, especially in the rural
Yeah.
areas.
Right. But the democratic regime is a problem since Aristotle said the same. Plato said the same. With the democracy, the bad democracy will turn out to be oligarchy. From oligarchy will be tyranny. I don't know whether we are in the midst of tyranny or in the midst of what do you call the hero, the hero of the Thai people. So there's a two ways they merge between the two. Yeah.
I think globalization has a part to play. You thought that globalization,
Yeah.
everybody is connected.
Yeah. Right.
But at the same time, the people are not ready in some way because they are all in their silo thinking.
Exactly.
So the myopic worldview, because, and that's why when it come on, the wave come on so fast, you don't know how to react. and
Exactly.
you don't know how to respond. That is positive to your country, and you're swept under.
That's right.
And you became poorer.
Exactly. Unlike your country, your education in your country, you were prepared to let the people face any change. So this is a disaster here that you don't even prepare yourself to face what is going on. We are always a victim of whatever come out. All the shopping centers. Look at one street, you have about 5 or 6 shopping centers, and it's a disaster when you find things and you want more. Then that's the root of corruption. If you have no morality behind your understanding. So the real problem is right here and how to solve it. So
But Thailand has always been the only country in ASEAN that has not been colonized.
yeah, that's
I
what
tip
you.
my hat to them because there is certain thing within their cultural biography that they're able to try. In the
Yeah.
eyes of all the odds, they are
Yeah.
able to try. There's
Yeah.
certain spirit within the Thai which, like we can't, like you say, imperialism, they don't advance with the knowledge.
Well, that's why I say that's why we still maintain a good nature because we have a good history. But a good history in the past doesn't mean that in the future we have the same. Have we never looked at ourselves and how to prepare ourselves for the change on the right way? And to prepare ourselves, it takes a long time. Education is something a long period of time. But if you don't know what kind of good education you should have, that's a disaster. You ask people in the education ministry, you know. Things are changing all the time.
So the fads.
Yeah.
One fad something.
Right, exactly. Right. Now, any question from this side? Yes, please.
What's the result of the 21st century's scientific science and technology result is?
Starting from
It's
16.
for one educated. If all people are educated, then only benefit or what result?
Please repeat your question again.
What the result of 21st century science and technology? If the benefit is only the educated, you told there. If one education is a learn, there is power, and if not power, there is no learn people.
You mean
Result
What
only.
is the reason?
What is the reason of the
What is the
result of the science and technology in the 21st century?
what is the reason? Reason.
Yeah, result.
Result.
What
result.
comes the result?
Result.
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 What is the result of science and technology?
Is it positive or negative?
Positive or not?
To the Thai people or to the whole?
To the whole
To the
world.
whole world. Yes.
Good question.
What is the future we are going to?
Only positive
We are going
or
towards.
result also.
Yeah, the future is in your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how to handle according. If everybody in the world come to have education like this,
Education. Yeah. Education.
scientific ethics, you know, from the area, the world will become better. But if people act without knowing, act only from their own greed, then you get more, you give more, you get more. I mean, in terms of for your own benefit, without the benefit for the whole. So if the whole world or everybody aware of this, if they know that what they are doing good for themselves, it must be good for the others also, not only for yourself. If the scientists have this awareness, any kind of change will be better. But if you think that you create something and then you get the benefit, like in country, the satellites, you know, some people earn so much from that satellites because they cost you 1 minute. No matter you go about 1 second and then you say 1 minute, you earn so much more. But now the law just changed just a few days ago that you count by real time, not by minute. You know, so the one who made the law thinking or concerning for the whole world, not for themselves, that would be the benefit of scientific revolution or scientific change. But who will think like that?
May I add something?
Yes.
Dr. Stephen Hawking, we all know about him.
Yeah.
He's a top class scientist in the whole world,
Yeah.
as we know. But a few days ago, I have heard he have made a what can I say? It's a future. He made a statement that world's gonna end. We have to leave the planet and have to colonize somewhere else.
Yeah.
Is that a good future we are going to? If a top level scientist like that can have a concept like that, we have to we will not change the way we are. We are going to make our planet polluted, make it is not to be living in. It will get so bad condition. Then we will have to leave this planet and have to colonize somewhere else. Some other planet, or we will have to find somewhere else. If top scientists like that have a concept like that, instead of making the situation better again. So, what kind of future we are going to?
We don't have that much future. We have, but I don't trust him that much on Hawkins. You know,
Okay.
to find another planet is not easy to have the same kind of environment as in the world. So
Almost impossible
Yeah.
at today's view. We haven't got that kind of technology
exactly.
yet. And when we will get there is no certainty.
Well, according to the Eastern ways of thinking, if you can't solve your own problem, you cannot go other place and then pollute another planet again. You know, if you can't solve your own planet, you cannot go to another planet and try to find out, leave your problem, then go to somewhere else. No, it's not the way to solve it.
It's not the way to
No,
solve it.
no.
if a top class scientist have a opinion like that, what the future will
Well, you don't listen to, when you listen to some kind of scientists, you listen to some of them.
because
But
their
not
words
all of them.
makes big impacts, right?
Yeah,
They
well,
are
he can
top-class
have a
scientists.
deep impact for others, but you just listen to him just for the sake of
Their
knowing.
opinion.
Yeah, don't have to over him. Yeah. Any more questions, please? The afternoon is running fast. 3 o'clock already.
So, do you think 1,000 years ago in Thailand, could you describe the situation of science and technology then?
Oh, 1,000 years ago, I can't describe anything. But recently,
Yeah.
a monk in a province of Thailand found some 1,000 years before Christ object that moved from China to Thailand. Well, beautiful vase, bell, it's all rusty.
Wow.
So it means that civilization has been far beyond, far progress than beyond that we know, many thousand years ago, But it is somehow it's been lost. Yes, and this is what happened in the history. It doesn't mean that we have to start over again. In many thousand years, we have to start over again. Who knows? Right now, we probably the last generation of this human form, maybe develop into some other things. 1,000 years ago, Thailand is still wearing the jongabeng, the woman wearing something over there, very happy. I imagine.
But they still
Have
have
you tried?
their technologies, right? They
What?
could make fire. That was a technology then.
Oh, that's technology that Dario mentioned. Techno means tool. Tools that you can use anything. We use this as first when you make fire, you use by tools.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
metals,
right.
rocks.
Exactly. That's a tools that we use in order to produce something else different from other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where those rocks were not available, they had dried woods. They made
Right.
fire by that.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Today, it's used in campings, in different parts of the world.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a tool also.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Can you tell me the oldest book produced in Thailand?
Oldest book in Thailand.
Oldest book.
ไตรภูมิพระร่วงไตรภูมิพระร่วง since Chutatip period. Yes. And they use oldest book in Thailand. Yes. That's what a question. You should know about books in Thailand.
Well-
What is the oldest book in Thailand?
Oldest book.
Always good.
Well, it would be a religious book. It would probably be on like banana leaves.
Right.
Or
Where I talk about the Tripum, Tripum, the three worlds.
Yeah.
Three
Three
worlds.
worlds.
Yeah, the three worlds of the Buddha.
The problem is most of the records were burned up when the Burmese invaded Ayutthaya.
Yeah.
And then those type of records don't really last long in this climate. The first printed book in Thailand was probably when the British brought in a printing press, I think about 1830.
That's something interesting. More interesting. 1830, first book printing in Thailand.
I would say the first book printed in Thailand was probably about 1830 or so.
1830. That's something new to me. I never know that before.
First book in Asia or
No,
In
just
Thailand.
in Thailand.
Just
In Thailand.
Yeah, just in Thailand.
When was Gutenberg printed?
Well, Gutenberg printed his Bible in
What century?
1530.
Huh?
1530 or so.
1530.
I remember 1540.
Okay.
Hindu religion was that time. But here, right?
Thailand?
Hindu religion. Hinduism.
But
Brahman,
even-
Brahman. Hindu religion.
No, this is a Buddhist country.
Buddhist.
Buddhist country. But 100 years ago, yeah, still Buddhist.
was here.
I love Hinayana, Mahayana, and all
Yeah,
this. But right now we are Hinayana.
Indian.
Hinayana. Yeah, the smaller version.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.